Another common thing that we have when people call in and there's concerns, people think that the tank is punctured or something's, that they'll say, oh, the tank's leaking, the tank's leaking. It's very, very, very uncommon. If you can imagine how thick this plastic is, anything goes through it, or that the actual tank itself is going to leak. What tends to happen is you'll get a leak. Obviously, gravity pulls it to the floor. You're driving around and moving, and the water tends to find its way under the tank as it's bolted down. You then come to look at your system, and it looks like water's coming out from underneath. It never happens that it's the tank. What it will be fittings. So it can be the fitting that goes to your reel, that can be leaking here, or on the end of by your pole, that could be leaking and it just runs underneath your tank. Or you've got fittings inside that will show you that they can be leaking, and that's something that you need to either, like I say, give us contact us and say, look, we need this looked at, or it's something that you can potentially tighten yourself. So depending on what version of a system that you've got delivery only, DI and RODI. If you've got a delivery only, ignore this, you won't have it. You could have a leak from any of your jubilees on here, so check that they're done up tightly. You've got these push fit fittings, make sure everything's pushed together properly, connected in so it's not leaking. Make sure your strainer's tight, not too tight, but just tight enough. You've got multiple hoses going in all different directions when you look at a system. Just make sure that everything is connected properly, and that it's not an obvious leak from one of these. Just look at it, have it all turned on, and just see if it's dripping. The other thing that you've got, this is a DI system. So we'll say, look, the next thing is a DI. You could have it leaking around here when it's pressurized, or on these connectors. What you want to do is make sure that they're tight, and that the neck and the head is tight. So you twist that, you want to twist that. Make sure it's all nice and tight. Don't leverage it against these fittings. You'll snap the nipples that go into it, but just hold it by the head. Just give it a nice tight thing. You want to make sure if you've done a resin change that the rubber grommet's still in there. If it's not, it will leak like a sieve. So just make sure everything's sealed and tight. The other thing that you'll have is an RO. So if it's an RODI, especially if you're in a hard water area, you're going to need that. Will be a long silver thing across here, and you'll have pre-filters in here. So make sure all that is tight, and the jubilees that are on the RO are nice and tight. And like I say, if it is something that you can look at, you're handy, you've got screwdriver, and you can just tighten a few bits, great. If it's a big leak and you can't visually see it, then I suggest that you book in at that point and we'll have a look at it.